Serious, how are you meant to answer the question, "Are you okay?" when you are, in fact, not okay? Hanging in there, living the dream, or, "oh you know," are synonyms of this. It depends on the person. If it was a close friend, I'll answer no and say why. If it wasn't, I'll probably answer, "yes, I'm alright." I tend to use I've been better. Someone who doesn't want to know can just leave it at that. But anyone who does can inquire further. I say it a lot at doctor's appointments because, unless you're there for an annual checkup, saying, "I'm fine," seems kind of dumb. "I'm good. How are you?" Quote. I can't even imagine saying anything else, even if I'm ready to completely lose it. By saying, "No, it's okay to not be okay and we need to normalize I'm fine," not being the only acceptable answer to this. This question has gotten to the point where it's almost rhetorical. A question asked to reassure the questioner rather than to gauge the well-being of those asked. I stopped responding to coworkers asking how I was as they power walked past me. They didn't give a shit about the answer anyway. Simply say, "Honestly, I'm not okay, but I appreciate your asking." Then, if they genuinely want to know more, they'll ask, "I've been better," is better, I think. It allows them to simply acknowledge it or actually ask why. I say something like, "I'm not okay right now, but I will be." It allows me to be honest about my feelings without putting pressure on the other person to fix my problem, monsieur. Depending on who is asking the question and how I feel at the time, I like to give the non-answer answer. Something like, "I'm just tired," could be better, could be worse, stuff like that. Sometimes I just really quickly skip answering and ask the person a question about themselves. 9/10 times, the person gets off track and doesn't come back to the question about me. If it's someone I am close to and am up to having a more detailed conversation about it, I'll be open and tell them that I am not okay. I don't like saying that I am okay when I'm not, though, so I try to avoid that situation. I'll say, "No, but I'm here. I'm sorry, the person you are trying to reach is emotionally unavailable. Please try again later. Are any of us really okay?" At work it's a playful comeback. To my friends it's a legitimate question they're willing to discuss. The polite answer is, "Yeah, just tired, distracted, spaced out." But if it's a friend who is actually asking for an answer, you can say no. Work environment, acquaintance, "Yeah, fine." Actual friend, family, "Nope, I feel like shit." Answer honestly. If you're not okay, let people know. It's okay not to be okay. And if you have a strong support group, they will help you through it. Bust a wolf. I was waiting for this to show up. Same. If it is not someone doing a service, waitress, gas station, etc., I answer with SMTH along the line of, "Not great but trying," giving my best if the person asks again. Then I dismissively give a feeling down, stressed, all one, etc. If the person keeps asking, then I know that the person cares, and I can talk without having a bad conscience of having pushed my problem on the monsieur. Besides, always saying, "I am okay," would be lying to yourself, and the person who asked might also not be doing great. It is reassuring to hear from random people that their life is not perfect. This has the effect of correcting the fake perception of perfect Instagram, Facebook lives. I just tell them yes because nobody wants to hear my baggage. Actually, no, I'm not. I had a tear in my esophagus and was bleeding into my stomach. I was in the shower and passed out. The hot water running out and turning cold woke me up. I got off the floor of the shower, puked blood all over the bathroom, and called oh. Also, "I'm sorry that happened." Australian emergency number. I asked my friends bluntly to stop asking me that question. In German I would say beschissen gebrüllt, which loosely translates as if I'd say fucked up. It would be bragging. If a genuine friend is asking, then be honest. If they're your real friend, then they'll care and will be concerned for your well-being. If it's someone you are not close with, don't know, then reply with "I'm good" or "I'm fine." I'm sure strangers do not want to know about someone's personal problems, but this is just what I would do. You of course do not have to follow. Just say so. I ask it a lot genuinely. But of course everyone always says fine. Be honest or keep it to yourself. It's your life, so you choose what you share and what not. Go with your gut. Grow a pair and say, you're not okay? Mother of God. This is the last comment, but it's this. My girlfriend. I love her very much, but the less positive the answer to this question, the more of a terrible question it is. In extent, if she is not okay, I feel like an asshole just for asking this question. Learn to fucking talk about your feelings and have a little faith in the person who asks this question. In my experience, people who ask about you are interested. Well said, mate. I always get weirded out by people who say they hate small talk. Generally speaking, people when asking, how are you, it's done in a nonchalant way. But I always counter with asking if they want the truth or the no-committal. Fine, we've all become accustomed to. Small talk is an open doorway to big talk. Thank you for this. I concur that a comeback question like do you want the truth? Is a great way. And doing this more often really breaks the line between small and personal talks. God, I wish I could break some people open. Consent is important in all things. Sadly, the how are you example is a modern communication thing that equally creates and destroys the opportunity for conversation. But when we lead by example and give people the choice of how they want the communication to move forward, we open the doors on conversation. We also teach them how to do the same. It's perfectly okay if people want the standard option. It's also perfectly fine if they really do want to know how you are. This also gives them the chance to open up and state how they are feeling in a comfortable setting, where some barriers to communication have been broken down. I'm always honest, no matter who asks. Usually, to be honest, I've had better days. I don't like people asking questions they don't want honest answers to. To be honest, I'm struggling, or things could be better. Quote. Then navigate the follow-up questions according to how much you want to share or what you feel you can ask for help. I'll tell them what's up. If I get asked such a question, the asker should be able to put up with a negative answer. But I'm a German. We handle questions like that a bit different than Americans. I'm speaking from an experience in the US years ago. There was a woman I used to see when I worked at the mall. She worked in the food court where I would go for a cup of ice frequently, enough to be known for my ice buying. Eventually I got another job and stopped seeing her. One day, I was at the grocery store and saw her. I asked, as a matter of course, how she was doing, and she hesitated. She then asked if I wanted the real answer or just something. I told her I wanted the real answer. Turns out, she was diagnosed with cancer and had been going through chemo, I think, which was pretty bad, but her husband decided that was the moment to nope out of the marriage. Which, to my mind, was a double whammy. In response, I thanked her for sharing with me and gave her the sympathy she obviously needed. A prayer, her belief, and Reiki, my belief. I find that so often we leave people to suffer in silence because we treat the downs of life as too bad, so sad, while reveling in the ups. Not everyone has a support network readily available to help cushion the downturns, yet in a nation of millions, one person can easily be left to bear the weight of their circumstances alone. P.S. This post does not apply to the people who unload a breath full of complaints every time they open their mouth. They could use a lot more restraint, or restraining order. Depends on who is asking and how much time I have. Close friend or partner. Enough time? I tell the truth. Other people? No time. I'm okay. Depends on the person and your relationship with the monsieur. For the majority of people, the answer is always yes. Say no and spill the tea. Dramatic AF. If you think they are sincere, tell them what is wrong. Not really. Would you like details? Meh. Free churro. It makes me feel okay. Yeah, do. I always go with, I'm like a fish trying to fly. I would say, not brilliant thanks, and elaborate as appropriate depending on relationship with who was asking. How do I look? Quote, if they answer, tired, stressed, distracted, angry, and if they're right, I'll close out the interaction by saying, there ya have it, or, non-sarcastically, yay, maybe a little. If they answer with good or something similar, I respond, that's the important thing. Then I change the subject. As a Dutch person, you say, no, I'm not, and then explain why not. Lie. I'm pretty freaking far from okay. Marcellus Wallace. After he was raped. Bust a wolf. No, I'm not, and no, I don't want to talk about it. Society would say that you have to answer yes. But if you're close to that person, it's more than okay to tell them that you're not. If they really care about you, they will listen. Society is annoying. It emphasizes perfection in every way, even your feelings. What I learned during my prompt at my first aid training was that if they're unable to respond to the question, are you okay? Quote, then they most probably are not okay. Live in the dream. Quote, one nightmare at a time, smiley face. Good, how are you? I've been better, I've been worse. Which is probably true 99.9% of the time for all of us. Depends on where you live, I think. I'm from the Netherlands, and it's not uncommon for people to respond negatively on that question. A simple meh or could be better is not unheard of. I need a hug is a good one, I guess. Carrot underscore carrot asterisk hugs asterisk hugs asterisk. You're not meant to do anything. Just act the way your heart wishes. Depends on who's asking. Truth is reserved for those who really care. I am not okay. I'm going through some shit, but I'll handle it. Can we talk in a few days? Depends on who asked that, but I always said just the usual because I didn't lie, but also I didn't need to talk about it, lol. If it was someone close, I'll say, yes, I'm alright. If the person is a stranger, I'd probably tell them what I feel. Don't do this though. I feel like the people I know are kinda judgmental. No, I'm not okay. I just simply say no, and then wait to see if they really care or just out here for gossip. Yeah, I'm fine. 'Cause that's how we all answer it. We either don't trust them or we don't want to bother them. Monsieur, I'm not saying it's the right way to answer, but it's the only way we know how. I'm Slavic. If you will ask me that question outside the office, I'll answer honestly. You don't want to know what my current issues are? Then why are you asking? I learned to answer, good, okay, fine, at work when I was over 25. I'm not 50 yet, so for most of my life I was answering that question honestly. Good example of Spanish answer. ¿Cómo estás? Aquí estamos. Quote, how are you? We're here. Doesn't make sense to you? Well, for me, asking people how they are and not expecting answers is the same. I've just learned this odd three-way handshake. Hi, how are you? I'm great, and how are you? I'm fine, thanks. For me is the useless use of breath, but I got used to it. On rare occasions, when I'm tired or angry, I'll answer honestly. But that's because I forget that they don't ask sincerely. But the reaction of the people are priceless. You should try sometimes. It won't change much, but why? You should be the one to suffer when they're asking for it. Thank you so much for watching and have a good day.